Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Shubham. I am from India, and I welcome everyone. We are here to discuss about the consequences that we have faced in this pandemic situation and how we can move forward for creating any immune society from all aspects. Okay, so while we are here to talk about the future free of pandemic, let us first talk about the what major impact the disaster caused and how it is going for further impact on our future. What the future will look like solely depends on what we want it to look like. So this is the COVID. How we will start with assessing the impact of the COVID. So this is the current scenario from 2 3 days ago that there are 194 million confirmed cases and the vaccination rate is too slow. We are almost 3 million. So at this rate, this has taught us many. This COVID pandemic has taught us many things about our healthcare system. The healthcare system in many countries have collapsed, and but it's all right. We as a society have proved always that we will come strong, and yes, it's not to return, and we will look past that what we have done, how this happened, but it's time for us to look forward and to avoid this kind of situation in further. Okay, so let me move forward. Firstly, I want to share that every aspect has a positive consequences and a negative consequences. In this COVID, there were also some positive consequences. So let me share with you the positive consequences. So yes, these are the some of the positive consequences that we have faced, we have learned. And first is the gratitude. We on our daily lives, we take them all the medical workers and all the policemen that do our duty for granted, but this time we have learned that yeah, they face a major issues and they work so hard for our well-being and for as a complete society's well-being. So yes, and the other positive consequences were that we have learned a new tech. We have learned that we have seen that our parents and our grandparents were not much accustomed of the new technology, but yes, in this pandemic situation they have all the learned, all the works have gone through the for a very easy flow of the ICT. So yes, they have embraced the new technology, and yes, people have focused more on the health and well-being and on the mental health. That I was very much uh, I was very much happy to see that the people giving more importance to the mental health, and there were the many kind of websites and people all from all the background are coming forward to help each other. So let us talk about some of the negative consequences. So yes, we have seen in some countries there were the political conflicts due to this, certain governments blaming the other oppositions in the same country for they have not done the work, they have not done the work, and they are lagging. Okay, so yes, there were the education inequality, there were the low quality of education, there was a economic hardship, and obviously there were the many negative consequences. These are the some, but we have faced in our personal level, we have experienced so much of the negativity during this. Okay, so let us move forward. Here I want to share with you the World Bank point of view towards the change normal. So yes, this is the World Bank view structures for creating a new society after this situation. There's, they are the four pillars that they have discussed: saving lives, protecting the poor, ensuring sustainable business growth, and rebuilding better. So these are the motto of the World Bank, and ensuring that these four pillars they build a new society towards that: relief, restructure, resilient. These are the some of the many, we can see that the many organizations have put forward their point of view in that. So yes, these are the some of the point forwarded by the World Bank. Okay, so what I want to discuss, there is not appropriate time to discuss all the consequences and what we act, but I have shortlisted some of the major that yes that needs to be focused. Okay, so developing, so here are the ICT, as we have seen that all the works, majorly works were done from the work from, or were converted from the work from home. The IT cell were working so hard, and people were using, people embrace the new, this is the new technology that I was talking about, that people have adopted. So yes, still, but still the developing countries lack equipped to use ICT to minimize disruption caused by coronavirus. Yes, we can see that from the stats that still the developing countries, if we particularly look at the Asian Pacific region, we can see that only 50% of the population have internet access at home, and only 43.5 people have computer at home. So yes, we can see that how this has impacted, and yes, this has so, this pandemic surely has given us a mirror image of we are how we are lagging behind, and how we can ensure the development to see whether we should focus and to process it not very smooth, but yes, we can survive, and we can survive beautifully in this uh, situation. So next, I want to all of you to focus on the human development level and pandemic. So every society is vulnerable to shocks and adversities, but some suffer less harm and recover more quickly than others. So countries at lower level of human development are at high risk when crisis strikes. So yes, this was the index this was put forward by the WHO. So we can see that the overall human development in every aspect, poverty, food security, education. We say that when the country has the overall development, they are less impacted. They are more likely to get less impacted from every crisis, every each and every, not this bio crisis, but in every aspect they are less vulnerable to the damage than country having the low resources and low human development level. So yes, through the stats we can see that in the South Asia region there are population in multi-dimensional poverty. We can see that only 31% of the people are still in the poverty margin, but not only on the basis of how much they earn per day. This is a multi-dimensional index ensuring the every aspect of life. So yes, we can see next that population vulnerable to multidimensional poverty. Yes, we can see that we as a South Asian countries, we are the largest and we are the most vulnerable community with the index of 18.8. That's a very much high as compared to the other nations, other countries of the world. So yes, people and the government need to focus on the human development level on all on the previous in our students, because we have discussed about the sustainable development goals. So yes, they are all interlinked, and we need to focus on those SDGs to make sure that we will be immune from this kind of crisis further. So my next level is the pollution and waste impact. So yes, we have seen that the air pollution level has gone down, but the stat were not similar for every kind of pollutions. Okay, so firstly I want to discuss that here is written that long-term exposure to air pollution may significantly increases the risk factors for many predicted to die from COVID-19. Yes, that was absolutely right. And as the world has stalled in this pandemic situation, there were lockdowns, the air quality has improved slightly, but on the other side, there were not the proper waste management, and and the waste in the sea and the oceanic region were increased exponentially. So yes, they are creating the negative. So while ensuring the one side, we again damage the other aspect of the ecosystem. So yes, we need to focus on the proper waste management so that we can, so it's always like that, we only do not need to focus on one thing. We have to learn that we have to learn and assess all the consequences that we will be facing for the one wave or one thing that we are going, or one law that we'll be implementing. So we have to assess that overall situation. That overall assessment is lagging, but I have seen in any countries, not only the Asian countries or the African countries, in all the aspects, yes, there was a little reluctance towards the overall assessment, and it's a human, I think, psychology, that survival instinct, we may say, that if one aspect of the society is if one thing is getting dissembled, we will be focusing on that and damaging the other aspects of life. So we should ensure that this not happens any further. And third, yes, the poverty. So here we can see that there was a major impact on the global poverty. So COVID-19 is taking toll on the world, causing death, illness, and economic despair. So here, around 40 to 16 million people were pushed into extreme poverty, and that sub-Saharan Africa might be the region hardest hit. We have seen that the crisis of poverty is many much time higher than comparing to the other countries. So here is the projected. So we have seen that the projected forecast for the COVID-19 was up to 7.8%, but it has pushed further, and yeah, it had discussed here that the 40 to 60 million people were pushed. So yes, we can see that the forecast has, even the bar has raised further for the poverty. And I think the poverty is a major, if we improve the quality of life for making sure that each and every person's quality of life is increased, and we can poverty is eradicated. So yes, they are all overlinked, and the people will get the proper healthcare. If we suppose that in our country we have focused on the healthcare system, but what happens if the people don't have the money to afford that healthcare system? So yes, we have to eradicate the poverty, and we have to focus on that too. So yes, every aspect of society is interlinked in that. So this is the pandemic and the world economy. Yes, we have seen that the world economy has been hit very hard. Okay, so there are where the market sell off and the job losses. We have seen many of our people we know, they have lost jobs, and everything, the monetary and the fiscal policies have been collapsed. So yes, we have to focus on that too, as there are the many researches that's been going on to how to push the economy, how to accelerate the world economy. But yes, we have to be prepared for that in the future. So here is a condition that we have that scientists and the philosophers have pushed forward for creating an immune society, that organizing webinars and online conferences should be done online, and we have to adapt that change. Okay, so right now what we are doing here exactly. So public outreach and education, that is a must. Fighting for continued research funding support. Yes, the research we have seen that the all we have stand in this COVID situation is due to the research and development that we're ongoing, from assessing the virus to creating the vaccine. There are many researchers that were going, people were working day and night to create the vaccine, to create a cure. So yes, developing vaccines and therapeutics, development of testing and diagnostic, petitioning governments and leaders, providing scientific advices to governments. Yes, these are some of the major concerns that we need to push forward for creating an immune society. So thank you, and I want to end my presentation by asking you a question. Do you think this pandemic would be forgotten like a bad experience over the coming years? Thank you. That would be all.
Hi, so hello, Shubham. So thank you for the presentation. It was really informative, and I'd like to commend that you tackled a lot of issues. And as for your question, do you think this pandemic would be forgotten like a bad experience? My answer to that personally would be no. I think that it would be permanently marked in history, and that with the lessons that we learned from COVID 19, I think people will be more aware and more conscious about, especially health crisis like this. So, yeah, thank you for the presentation, and that was my answer for your question. But as for my question to you, since you have presented a lot of facts or a lot of data, I'd just like to ask, what do you think should be the priority of people on solving these crises, or like what's the first thing that people should do? Is it the environment? Is it the pollution? Or yeah, that was just my question. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, I've got you. Just so yes, what would be the priority? Uh, to tackle this kind of pandemic. Yes, so I've discussed that the overall human development, we have marked in that there are the 18 SDGs that were provided by the United Nations for the overall human development. So yes, people and the government need to focus on that human development level, that overall development. It's not like yes, I have this. Similarly, everything is overlinked, so it's hard to prioritize what we should first prioritize and what we should not prioritize. And we have seen that um, if we, just for an example, I've stated earlier that if we provide many funds to the healthcare system, but what if people don't have money to afford it? What if we have provided the quality education to every citizen in our respective country, but what we have not secured their we don't have the food security. We still are They still are focusing on the poverty. So yes, so it's very hard to but overall I can say that the human development, and yes, the index that are provided in the United Nations, by the United Nations and many researchers. So yes, still the government need to focus on the overall the human development, each for the development for the each and every individual of the respective nation. That's my point of view. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, firstly, I'd like to answer your question, and that would be very simple. You see, everything loses impact after a while. Even now, when you see there is less effect of the pandemic in some areas, people have forgotten how deadly it can be, and they are like roaming freely. So they have become careless. So this happens with everything. We know things have happened in the past, but then we forget about them eventually. But I think those who have suffered very much from this incident are like they are scarred for life and they will remember it forever. But time heals everything, so everything gets forgotten over a period of time. So that's my answer. And for the question, I'd like to ask what is that one specific lifestyle change, or what is that one learning or unlearning that you uh, got from this pandemic that you will carry on for your future?
Thank you, Prachi. I've got your question. Yes, people for once the time heals everything. That's very correct. And as per your the question, that what I have personally learned is that first, uh, the I've discussed in the positive consequences. This gratitude. Yes, we should pay respect to each and every. It doesn't matter. There are people who clean the streets, and there are people are higher politicians positions. So we should respect all of them. There should be not be any level of ranking in our personal opinion, that we should be gratitude and thankful for the each and every people in our society, that they are doing their part, and because they are doing their part honestly, here we are, that we are doing our part sincerely. So yes, the gratitude is the most important thing that I have learned during this pandemic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a good answer.
Good evening, sir. Your presentation is very much factual, yes, and very amazing also. So, related from your question, I want to answer it. Yes, it's a very much bad experience over the year, but also it is very wrong.
I'm so
So,
sorry to interrupt, but I cannot hear you properly. This,
uh, I'm audible.
yeah, now you are audible.
Okay. I'm asking. Sorry. I'm 1 minute. I'm having a problem.
While she's chatting, yeah, as time passes, people will kind of like forget like
Yeah.
pandemic, like that experience, I think. But like, as I said a minute ago, just there's so many things like we can learn, right, from the experience. Kind of like it will exist like permanently and as um I don't know, kind of good experience. Like for like if something bad like this pandemic like happens, we can like tackle like properly time. So it will be a very kind of good experience, right? What do you think, Shubham?
Yeah, I think the most important part is that we have got both good and bad experiences. But what, as a society, as a human, we can do is changing the bad experience to into good one. So yes, by learning and adapting and overcoming this. So yes, we have to change this bad experience to a good one. That we have, yes, we have learned this far. This were the shortcomings in our society, and that we have developed. We have come strong, and we are ready to face any kind of this. If sudden crisis strikes, yes, we are prepared for that.
Thank you, Shubham.
Well,
That was very good discussions and presentation. Thank you very much.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you.